Hello, and welcome once again to the Labyrinth of Limitations, Episode 6 on Symmetry. This is a subject I'm really excited about that we will come back to multiple times because symmetry in pitch structures is such an important thing. And again, we are using the ideas of Barry Harris, exploring the ideas of Barry Harris, which are so robust and rich, and applying them to the guitar. Definitely go check out things I learned from Barry Harris and see all those wonderful videos if you'd like to know more about Barry's teaching, particularly about tons of wonderful melodic ideas. So, we've already seen a symmetrical pitch structure before, and that is the full diminished seventh chord. So if I play a minor 6 diminished scale, the diminished chord is always the same shape, right? So this is C diminished seventh, and then I'm going D flat minor 6, right? So this chord, C minor 6, those are all the same chord. Those are all C minor 6. And the reason why, and I have some illustrations in this PDF of a kind of a clock face circle, where if you imagine the notes, the 12 notes that are in the octave on a clock face, and you see that 12 o'clock is C, I call it 0 o'clock, and then it would be at 0 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock would be the full diminished seventh chord. You're taking the 12 notes of the octave, you're taking a 4-note chord, you're dividing 12 divided by 4 is 3 semitones, meaning 1 semitone, 2 semitones, and then I'm to the next note. So that means that if this is, essentially 0 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, well, then that means if I add 3, this is 0 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It just rotates and becomes itself again. So that's exactly what happens. So these are all the same. This is C, this is C, G flat, A, and E flat, and then the C becomes E flat right here. There's E flat, and then the G flat becomes A, and the A becomes C, and the E flat becomes G flat. That's how it works. So there are 3 diminished chords before I get to the next one. So there are 3 full diminished seventh chords. The octave is divided into 3 chords made of 4 notes. So now we get to look at what this episode is really about, which is the whole tone scale. And the whole tone scale is dividing the octave into 6 equal parts. So I have a little illustration of that. It's a hexagon. You can see the outline of the shape. And this is the sound. And people associate it with like kind of dream sequences and stuff, but it's got so much more than that. In particular, this is really important for dominant 7th chords. Okay, so there are 2 of these. It's worth saying. That's one whole tone, and so I take the 12 notes of the octave, and I divide them up into 2 equal parts. We will talk about that more later because there's lots of important concepts around that. So, if I take a chord that exists inside my whole tone scale, so like say this C and B flat and E exist in the whole tone scale, I can add a flat 5, so a dominant 7 flat 5, and I move that up by whole steps. Well, that is me moving up in parallel motion along the whole tone scale, because these notes exist in the whole tone scale. Those notes exist in the whole tone scale, well, then I can just move them all up by whole step. And because it's a symmetrical scale, just like that diminished chord, I'm moving in the within the scale, and at some point I end up repeating myself. So this is C, G flat, B flat, and E, and when I go up 6 frets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, now it is G flat, C, E, and B flat. So there's this symmetry there, and it's pretty. It's a wonderful, beautiful, fun thing. So that is playing the scale by just moving a chord up and down. So then if we analyze the scale and we think about it, so it's symmetrical, so anywhere it could be the center, anywhere it could be the root, but we're going to call this C the root for right now, and that means scale degree 2, scale degree major third, flat 5, sharp 5, dominant 7, and C. So it's like a Mixolydian scale, but with a flat 5 and a sharp 5 and no 6 in there. So it's great for this type of sound. So before we get into putting it in a song, I'd like to apply the elevator to it, because that's what we do here. So here it is. There are 2 elevators for the scale, 2 of them. One starts on the unison, and the other one starts on the major second, and they kind of they are filling in the space. They grab different chords. So check it out. I start on unison, and I go to major third, and then I go to an augmented chord, and I go to and you can hear the voices going apart, right? And this is an octave chord voicing that you're going to want to memorize. Cool thing about this scale again is I could take any of these, like I said, and move along, and that's parallel motion, just keeping the same shape. So then after the octave chord, whoops, sorry, this is a drop 2, and then I'm going to go out, drop 2 and 4, and then octave, back to drop 2 and 4. That's my octave chord. This was the double octave chord, and then I go to the augmented, and then there. So that's unison third, and so on and so forth. So that's one of the elevators. So imagine you're in this weird hotel where you have 2 elevators, and one gets you to the odd number floors, and the other one gets you on the even number floors. And that's kind of what this is. So it's a funny hotel elevator system. So start on major second for this one, and then, so the first one went unison, major third, augmented triad. This one goes major second, diminished triad, and then dominant 7, flat 5, incomplete. Okay, and then this is a drop 2, but a different one than the one that we had before. This is the other drop 2 for this, because there's only 2, because it's symmetrical. So then I go out. This is a drop 3, and then I go out to a drop 2 and 4, and then I go out to ninth. So ninth separated by an octave, because I started at a second. So then I go back, and I go, and then I go, and then I go, and then like that. So it's pretty neat. Those are the 2 elevators. So now, to fill in the space, if I'm playing the elevator or parallel motion or whatever, I can fill in the space chromatically, and it's really predictable how to do that with my hands. I can go. See, I'm just going through the elevator like that, but then instead of just going directly to this, I'm going, right? Right, so I guess, don't know what I did. There we go. I could alternate and go downwards. See? See, and that works too. So there's one more example here. I should have done one in the bass, but you can try it out. So, I guess I used the other elevator for this one. So that's the same idea. It's a beautiful idea. I love that sound. It's pretty fun. So now here's something that I really love. This is really fun. We can fill in the chromatic space like we just did, but in both voices, and filling out the chords by just intertwining the 2 elevators. So I'm going to start on unison. Then the other elevator starts on major second, and that's what I'm going to do. So this top line here, I start on unison, I go major second, and then back on the first elevator, I do major third. I literally just copy and pasted these from the 2 previous and just interleaved them. And it sounds like this. It sounds pretty neat. What is this one? And then I'm forgetting. Back to the beginning, something like that. And so I can start in the major second, and it's the same concept. So I can go, here's C, I'll start on C. Oops. So that's going out a bit on the, starting on C unison. But now I'll start on, but I'm still thinking C, it's the C whole tone scale, and I'm filling in the space in between. So I am viewing a collection of 6 notes and then filling in the gap. Okay, in the same way as in the chromatic thing we did in the previous video, where we have a C major scale, and we applied that to the minor 6 and the major 6. That is applying it to a major 6 scale. Well, I'm kind of thinking that way around a whole tone. So here I am, major second, major third, diminished chord. You can hear that, right? And then I'm just doing the same chord pattern again, which is really pretty awesome that works that way. See, this is C. I'm on, like, say, a C. I'm thinking like C dominant 7. Works pretty well. So here I have some couple musical examples. This is from Darn That Dream, which over at Things I Learned from Barry Harris, Chris did, and introduced me to this song because I've never played it before. And I love it. So that's the beginning, the tune is, down that dream, right? And then, sorry. And then whatever it doesn't, so that's the tune. So I'm just taking the first part. Whoops. A little messy there. But this is, right here is dominant 7 flat 5, so I do a whole tone. And I'm doing it in contrary motion, combining the 2 elevators for just 2 moves. But it could have gone on, And then what would it have been after that? Whoops. Oh, I know. Right, so I could have gone, if there were a time, something, just kind of messing around. But those are fun and nice. Couple more here. So borrowing, again, applying that concept, it's worth saying that, so say here, I was thinking of this, just, I can call this E dominant 7 flat 5, or that works for me, E dominant 7 flat 5, and this is an octave chord. So I'm going to borrow on it. I'm going to take these 2 notes and go down, I'm going to go like this, whoops. So what did I do there? I went, just borrow chromatically, kind of stretchy, and then now I'm going to have this note go up to this one and this one go down. What what I never really get is it changes from the octave chord to the one of the drop twos. So that's pretty fun. So it's pretty sound. And then I have just a little example from All the Things You Are. And it is in the last bit here where the whole tone comes in. But let's see if I can kind of do something like what's written here. It is. So, yeah, something like that. Yeah. So you get where I am in it. It's like, you know, so it's. And then, so, you know, it goes like. So that is what I'm doing there is it goes, I borrow, and then that's on the E dominant. That's what I did there. And then I'm on B flat minor 7, which I'm seeing as, and then on this E, I could do a number of things. I could do B flat minor 6, or I could do E flat 7, or I could do, but B flat minor 6 would be the 6th substitution, or E minor 6 for the tritones minor. But here I am doing the whole tone. So you can put a whole tone on top of a dominant 7th anywhere as long as it sounds good to you. And, you know, typically, I guess when it resolves to, it's going to resolve, but I'm not sure. But here it works nicely, I think. So I go, and then I land a, and then I go, so I'm taking, and I'm just thinking of that elevator. I like to think of the elevator in my middle voice as like this is a little chord. So this is the second. Right, and then a third, and then a tritone, and then I'm out to an augmented chord, and then, and that is just, you know, it's like the drop 2, and then I'm just borrowing downwards a whole step, and then. Something like that. This is the idea. This is a whole tone scale. It's going to come back. We are going to use chords similar to these in another, when we talk about the dominant 7 flat 5 diminished scale, which is coming up too. But we're also going to talk about the octatonic scale in an episode soon, which is another symmetrical structure. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. I hope that these videos are helping people to move contrapuntally and chromatically. Remember that's a big part of the focus of this series, definitely in the beginning, is I think there's Barry's methods are just so wonderful and endless. And again, not a one-trick pony. They can go in all kinds of ways. So if you like this, give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do and join us. I'm really thrilled that we're getting a little community, and that I'm getting some wonderful conversations with people. And yes, and share it with any friends that you think are might find it interesting. And please, you know, don't don't be afraid to reach out to me if you have any questions or anything. I'm a teacher, and I teach through Zoom now and enjoy it a lot. So you can also contact me for lessons if you are interested in that. I hope these PDFs are clear and helpful. Have a wonderful rest of whatever you're doing today, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much.